What are the top 3 things you can be doing to build a strong financial foundation? My name is Sam, and I'm really passionate about helping women with their finances so that they can go after the life that they want. I get this question a lot. Where should I start with my finances? What should I be doing to build a really strong financial base? And I would say there's 3 things that you're going to know by the end of the video in terms of how to move your finances in the right direction. Number 1, get a sense of money coming in versus money going out. Now, I know that sounds like budgeting, but it's actually not. I would argue it's a step before budgeting. I call this the nut. Having a sense of money in versus money out on a monthly basis sounds simple, but it's actually unbelievably powerful. So how are we going to do that? Money in, we all keep track of money in. I would argue that's a little bit easier. You're going to look at your paycheck, maybe any side hustle income you have, and just add it up. Know that number cold on a monthly basis after tax. Money out is a little bit more complicated because not all of us track our money. And I think we sometimes underestimate how much money we spend. So I always suggest track this for 1 or 2 months, right? Get a sense of money going out. There's really easy ways to do this. It could be a pen and a paper. It could be an Excel spreadsheet. Basically, it can be analog. You could be doing this as a memo on your phone. If you want something that's a little bit more high tech, you could also look at some financial dashboards. Regardless, after 1 to 2 months, maybe 3, we're going to have a sense of that nut. Money in, money out. And we're going to know if there's a big imbalance there or not. This is a really good first step to building a strong financial foundation. Number 2, build up a rainy day fund. This is also called an emergency fund, and this is another core principle for building a strong financial base. How are we going to do that? We are going to set up a high interest savings account that's completely separate from the rest of our finances, with this being really key. Many of us keep all our cash in one place, and while that kind of works, there's a better way to organize your money. I'm a big believer that this rainy day fund should be in a completely separate account that we don't touch unless it's a rainy day or we have an emergency. Also, how much should we be putting into this account? It really depends, like a lot of financial advice. What I mean is, if you are somebody who has family support or a network you could lean on, maybe you're really light on your feet, I would argue you need a little bit less. You don't need as much. So that's going to look like 3 months of expenses all put aside, right? 3 months of your expenses put to the side. If you are someone who maybe has expenses that are a little bit more sticky, you really couldn't downsize. Maybe your family can't support you, or you don't have a partner. I would suggest holding a little bit more, right? We're going to put a bit more in our rainy day fund just to have a bit more of a buffer. This is kind of a good guideline to keep in mind that really the amount you put aside, at the end of the day, it's up to you. And as always, something is better than nothing. Number 3. Be contributing to a retirement account of some kind, whether that's a 401k through your employer or an IRA, an individual retirement account you can set up yourself if you're a freelancer or you work for yourself. Both are equally powerful in taking care of future you, right? You in retirement. It feels like it's a long time from now, and for the most part, it really is for many of us. But any little bit we can do now is going to grow over time and support that idea of future you. So how much should we be putting into our retirement account? It really does depend. If you have a 401k, if your employer offers a match, we would definitely suggest take advantage of that match. So at least be putting that. Now, if you're using an IRA, there is an annual limit, which is about $5,500 a year. So regardless, putting any amount you can into a retirement account is really powerful. If you're doing these 3 things, that's amazing. You've already built a strong financial base. If you've only done some of these or you're part of the way there, again, I'm going to give you one of those because it's always about doing what we can where we can. And I would just keep in mind that these 3 things I mentioned, they don't all have to be done overnight. We can do them as we go. It's definitely a journey, right? And anything we can do to get our finances headed in the right direction builds good momentum.